Good Erev Shabbos, everyone. This week's Parsha is out of Va'yaytzei. In Parshas Va'yaytzei, we meet Lavan, the great deceiver. Yaakov is sent by his parents that he should find a bride from amongst the daughters of Lavan. He goes to Lavan, he works 7 years, and he specifies for the hand of your daughter, Rachel, your youngest daughter. This way, he's making it very clear that although Lavan has an older daughter, Leah, it is Rachel that he is working for and that he wishes to marry. After the 7 years, Lavan gathers together all the people of the city, makes a beautiful wedding, and the bride never leaves the side of Lavan, and she's wearing a very thick veil. And under the chuppah, Yaakov doesn't see his bride. That's why we have the custom today to lift the veil to see the bride. But as of that point in time, they didn't have that custom. And then that evening, it's dark. He doesn't realize in the morning, he senses this is Leah. He says to Lavan, after he recognizes what happened, he says, Mazai Sasisoli, what is this that you have done to me? I worked for you for 7 years for Rachel. Lama rimisani, why have you deceived me? Yaakov is saying two things. Why did you do this to me? And why did you deceive me? What are these two things that he's pointing out over here? After Lavan recognizes Yaakov's consternation, so he says, finish this week, and then you'll marry. In 1 week, you'll marry my other daughter, Rachel, and you'll work another 7 years. Yaakov agrees. Leah is blessed with children. Reuven, Shimon, Levi, Yehuda. Rachel doesn't have any children. She gives her maidservant to be a wife unto Yaakov. She frees her, and that maidservant is blessed with Dan and Naphtali. Leah, who was a desire to bring forth the 12 tribes from Yaakov, gives her maidservant, and he frees her, that this maidservant Zilpah should be a wife unto Yaakov. And she has 2 children, Gad va'Asher. And then we come to a very interesting little episode. It says that Reuven, Leah's oldest, finds some flowers, whatever they might be, and he brings them to his mother, Leah. Rachel sees these beautiful flowers and says, please give them to me. And Leah says, is it not enough? Hama'at kachtech es ishi, is it not enough you've taken my husband? Now you want to take these flowers, the dudoyim that my son brought? And Rachel says, this night you will be with Yaakov. It's supposed to be my night, it'll be your night. And then Yaakov comes and he spends the night with Leah, and Leah is blessed with a pregnancy, and she names the child Yisascha. She calls him Yisascha. Then she has another child, and she names the child Zvulun. And God sees that Rachel is very dejected. She doesn't have any children. And it says, Vayizkar Elokim es Rachel. God remembers Rachel, and he allows her to conceive and give birth to a child that she names Yosef. What is it that God remembered? What did it mean he remembered? Rashi says he remembered the remarkable kindness that Rachel did, because when she recognized that it was Leah who was being given to Yaakov as a wife, Yaakov was very, very concerned that Lavan might try to pull something. So he said he had a secret code that he gave to Rachel. And this way he would whisper to her under the chuppah to make sure that it's indeed Rachel, and Rachel would repeat the code. When Rachel saw that Leah was being taken, and if Leah did not know the code, this would be a humiliation that could destroy her beloved sister Leah. So Rachel gave her the code. She did this remarkable deed. She gave the code to Leah, knowing that this means Leah will marry Yaakov, and maybe Yaakov will never marry Rachel. And Rachel might end up becoming the wife of Esav. And she did this. So Rashi says that God remembered what Rachel did. Problem is that this was almost 6 years earlier. This took place around at least 5 years earlier. That's when Leah married Yaakov, and that's when Rachel gave her the coat. Now we're talking about just prior to Joseph's birth. That's over 5 years later. So Hashem remembers what took place 5 years ago. That's what it's referring to. Why now at this moment? The Orach Chaim tells us something of great importance. The Orach Chaim says, what are these two things that Yaakov mentioned to Lavan, in which he said, what did you do to me and why did you deceive me? He's saying two things. He's saying, first of all, you deceive. Second of all, he says, you deceived me, meaning you wanted me to marry Leah? I would agree to marry Leah. I would have been happy to have Rachel and Leah as my wives, if that's what you wanted. Leah's a great tzaddikas. Why did you have to deceive me? But then he said something even more impactful. First, he said, why did you do this to me? He said, do you know what you've done? You have injured your daughter Leah. Leah will, for the rest of her life, think that she is not my true wife. She's going to consider herself inferior and secondary, that she's the one who came into the marriage through trickery and deception. Look what you've done. You've destroyed the mentality of your daughter, and it's going to impact on my marriage. In addition, you know what else you've done? You caused that when I spent my wedding night with Leah, I thought it was Rachel. I'm thinking about Rachel. Leah knows that I'm thinking about Rachel. You know how devastating that is to a woman? That here she's being with her husband and her husband's thinking about someone else. Could there be anything more devastating than that? Do you know what you've done to your daughter? Do you know how this has impacted on my marriage? Do you know that forever Leah will consider herself to be the deceiver who came in through theft and through all types of trickery? This is what you've done? Nevertheless, Yaakov, the tzaddik he is, when Lavan says, well, we don't do this. We don't give the younger daughter before the older daughter here. The people didn't let me. Here, marry Rachel after a week, and then you'll work another 7 years. And the righteous Yaakov agrees. Then, after the birth of Yosef, then Yaakov says, I'm ready to go back. I'm ready to return to my father's household, even if it means that I have to confront Esav. Why? What was it now, at this point, that he felt confident that he can return? We find that, as the Orach Chaim explains, Leah felt that she wasn't as beloved to Yaakov as Rachel. She was the wife of deception. And now, indeed, when it says that Reuven, Leah's son, found these special flowers, and Rachel says, can you give them to me? They're beautiful. And she says, is it not enough, kach teches ishi, you've taken my husband? Meaning, the commentaries say, Leah was saying to Rachel, Rachel, you want these flowers? You've taken Yaakov as a husband. He's your husband. I don't feel my relationship to him as a husband and wife. I feel like his maidservant. I feel like the one who's providing children to him. I never felt like his true wife. Do you know what I'm feeling? Do you know the devastation? Do you know the turmoil and torment that I feel? And now you want the one thing, my son brings me flowers, you want that too? When Rachel heard this, it gave her a deeper insight into the torment and suffering of her sister. And that's why she made this statement that seems so odd and so unacceptable to us. Give me the flowers and you take Yaakov tonight. What is Yaakov, a commodity that she's exchanging? She was saying to Leah, Leah, you are my equal. You are a wife to Yaakov as much as I am a wife to Yaakov. And you take Yaakov You spend the night with Yaakov and you tell him that the relationship he has with me, that's the relationship he should have with you. And he does, but you don't view it that way. Please do. This is the remarkable act of kindness from Rachel that we see. And indeed, Leah, when she came and she had the union with Yaakov, was filled with such joy that God rewarded her. Now she felt like a wife, and she was blessed with Yisachar, and she was blessed with Zvulun. And then it says, and God remembered Rachel. What did he remember? So we had Rashi's explanation about the code, but I'd like to suggest, you know what God remembered? You know what came before God? This remarkable act right now. Rachel could have said, you feel secondary, you feel inferior. Well, I mean, after all, look how you came into this marriage and this relationship. Not only did Rachel not say it, Rachel herself was devastated when she learned how Leah felt. And therefore, Rachel went and did everything to remove this blemish from Leah's personality and say, Leah, you are a total equal. You are a wife of Yaakov. Here, spend the evening with Yaakov. This was a remarkable act of kindness and love and devotion by Rachel. And that's what God remembered. That's what came before the Almighty. And in merit of that, she was blessed to have a son, Yosef. These three children that came from this act, this bonding of Rachel and Leah, Yisachar, the great Torah scholars came from Yisachar. Zvulun, those who appreciated and recognized the magnificence of Judaism and the Klal Yisrael founded upon Torah, came from Zvulun. They were seafarers and mariners, and they supported Yisachar. They had an agreement and said, we will work and we will give you 50-50. What we earn will go to your support. So you can immerse yourself in Torah study your whole lives without any worries. And Yisachar agreed. They had an agreement. 50% of support for Yisachar, 50% of Yisachar's Torah and merit for his Torah learning goes to Zvulun. And then also came from this remarkable deed, Yosef the tzaddik, Yosef, who became the individual from whom Klal Yisrael would find their ability to withstand the onslaught of the exile in Egypt. The foundation for our success to be able to thrive in Egypt was because of Yosef. Everything that Yosef did. Look what resulted. Not just 3 more tribes, the Torah, the charity to support, and Yosef, the righteousness. And I'd like to suggest it was at that point that Yaakov said, I'm prepared now to be confronted by Esau. I have Yosef from Rachel. Yosef is the flame that can destroy Esau. And I've got the merit of Torah with Yisachar. And I have the merit of charity and kindness from Zvulun. I've got Torah. I've got chesed, kindness, charity. And I have the avoda. I have the service of righteousness of Yosef. I have the 3 pillars that are mentioned in Ethics of Our Fathers, Torah, Avoda, and Gemilas Chasodim. Torah, service, dedication to God, and kindness. Now I am prepared. There is nothing that can sway Yaakov from fulfilling his mission and his purpose. We have the 3 pillars that are here. Now Yaakov says, I want to go back. I'm ready to go back. And the Torah is not just revealing to us the magnificence of our patriarchs and matriarchs. It's also telling us for our own lives to be able to overcome the forces of exile and the anti-Semitism and to bring about a fulfillment of our mission. We must have the Torah, Yisachar. We must have the support, the charity. We must have the righteousness, the devotion, the dedication of Yosef. And all of this is a result of the incredible, remarkable sensitivity, depth of kindness that emanated from the heart and soul of Rachel Imenu, Rachel our matriarch. Rachel and Leah, they became one as they became both the full wives of Yaakov, bringing forth the pillars for Klal Yisrael. May the Almighty help us that we should strengthen ourselves in Torah study, Torah support, and our service unto God. And the merit of this, may we truly witness fulfillment to our mission and the revelation of Mashiach. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay Jewish. Have a wonderful Shabbos.